Here's a chilling reality that might make you rethink everything you know about violence. Witnessing aggression literally rewires your brain to become more violent. If you've ever wondered why violence seems to spread like wildfire through communities, new groundbreaking research has uncovered the disturbing neurological mechanism. Their investigation centered on a fascinating behavioral study involving male mice who were placed in situations where they could observe attacks taking place. The researchers discovered something unexpected. The mice only developed heightened aggressive tendencies after watching violence committed by peers they recognized. Complete strangers had no such effect on their behavior. This finding challenges conventional wisdom about violence exposure and suggests that social familiarity plays a crucial role in determining whether witnessed aggression becomes internalized. The implications are staggering when you consider how this might apply to human communities, schools, and family environments. But here's the part most people miss. The researchers didn't just identify the behavior, they pinpointed the exact brain circuitry responsible for this learned aggression. The team focused their attention on a specific region of the amygdala, a brain structure long associated with emotional processing and aggressive responses. Through sophisticated neural monitoring techniques, they tracked the activity of particular neurons during the observation periods and subsequent behavioral tests. Nordman explains the mechanism using a relatable analogy. Think about what happens after you have a heated argument with a colleague or family member. The frustration and agitation you experience afterward makes you significantly more prone to having another explosive outburst later. We discovered that certain amygdala neurons create this aggression priming effect, essentially preparing the brain for future violent responses. The research team theorized that these same neurons become activated in observers because witnessing familiar individuals engage in violence triggers a neurological mirroring effect. The brain essentially rehearses the aggressive behavior it's observing, creating neural pathways that facilitate similar responses later. Their hypothesis proved correct. When male mice watched familiar peers attack intruders, these specific amygdala neurons showed increased activity. However, when the same mice observed unfamiliar attackers, these neurons remained dormant. And this is where the study gets truly revolutionary. The researchers discovered they could manipulate these neural circuits to either prevent or promote aggressive behavior. Through targeted interventions, they successfully suppressed the aggression-promoting neurons, effectively eliminating the learned violent tendencies in mice who had witnessed familiar attacks. Conversely, when they artificially activated these same neural circuits while mice observed unfamiliar violence, they could induce aggressive behavior that wouldn't normally occur. These experimental manipulations demonstrate that learned aggression isn't an inevitable consequence of violence exposure. It's a modifiable neural process that could potentially be interrupted through therapeutic interventions. The study's findings illuminate several critical factors that influence how observational violence spreads through populations. The research suggests that proximity to violence isn't the only risk factor. The social relationship between observer and perpetrator appears equally important in determining whether aggressive behavior becomes contagious. This discovery has profound implications for understanding violence in human contexts. Consider how this research might explain the clustering of aggressive behavior within families, peer groups, or communities where individuals know each other well. It might also shed light on why some individuals exposed to violence develop aggressive tendencies while others don't. The researchers emphasize that their findings could inform the development of novel treatment approaches for individuals who have acquired violent tendencies through observation. By understanding the specific neural mechanisms involved, scientists might develop targeted interventions that could disrupt the brain circuits responsible for learned aggression. However, This raises some uncomfortable questions about the nature of violence prevention and treatment. If we can manipulate brain circuits to reduce aggressive tendencies, should we? And what are the ethical implications of such interventions? Furthermore, the study focused exclusively on male subjects, leaving questions about whether these mechanisms operate similarly in females, or if there are gender-specific differences in how observational violence affects neural development. The research also opens up controversial discussions about responsibility and culpability. If witnessing violence creates biological changes that predispose individuals to aggression, how does this impact our understanding of criminal behavior and rehabilitation? What do you think about these findings? Does knowing that aggression can be neurologically contagious change how you view violence in media, communities, or family settings? Should this research influence how we approach violence prevention programs? Or does it raise more questions than it answers about human nature and free will? Share your thoughts. This discovery challenges fundamental assumptions about behavior and choice that deserve serious discussion.